Thank you for joining us today on Something to Think About with Pastor Mike, where the topics can range from current events, historical perspectives, practical Bible application, to whatever's on his mind today. People have stereotypes of what it means to be a Christian, and one thing's for sure, Pastor Mike loves breaking those stereotypes. Pastor Mike Hasseltine is the senior pastor of Maranatha Church with campuses in Forest Lake and Chisago, Minnesota. With over 40 years of practical pastoral ministry, Pastor Mike challenges us to be real people, loving a real God, right in the midst of all our real lives. Now, here's Pastor Mike. Not really. This is Pastor Robin, and Pastor Mike is away this week. And we've got some really exciting guests in the studio today. I'll be introducing you to them here in just a second. But I want to say good morning to Jay, our producer. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
I am so excited not to be cold this weekend.
Yeah. It will be nice to be warmer.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit too long of a cold snap, I think.
Way too long.
Mm-hmm.
I make plenty of global warming comments to my bride the last several weeks.
I'm sure she loves that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, before we get into the national days, I want to introduce you to our special guests today so they can jump in the conversation. We have Perry and Pastor Michelle Ingram joining us today. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. And we have a very special event in the annual life of Maranatha
Yes.
Forest Lake campus here coming up very, very soon. I wanted to connect with you guys about that. But before we get to that, I want to just welcome everybody to the show, let you know if you happen to have my cell phone number and want to say good morning or something. I've got that right here. I'd love to get your text. You just never know. Your comment might be read over the air. Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah.
Totally dated myself. People are out there going, who's Will Robinson? So
Have they remade that yet?
I think a number of times, have they?
Yeah, I think so people may know.
They may not. Yeah. But I want to let you know we have here at WAJC Radio, we do have a number of shows that I want to highlight. The first one is Monday and Tuesday from noon to 1. Pastor Arlene and team, which is Pastor Michelle and me, and Jim McGann and our wonderful producer. We do chew on this. And so from drive time, noon to 1, we have discussion over biblical topics, and it's just
So much fun.
so much fun. People jump in on that. It's just so great. And I should give you a forecast. This week, there will be singing. So, tune in. Also on Thursdays, we have Pastor Bill and his wife Denise with the program In Pursuit, and that's Thursdays from noon to 1. And I was talking with them yesterday, and yesterday's word of the day, do you recall what it was?
I don't. It was a very bizarre word.
Blatherskipe.
And what does it mean?
Blatherskipe. It is actually, so when someone rattles on about a whole lot of words with not a whole lot of substance, I believe it's called blathering.
Yes.
Yes. And if you are the person who is doing that, you are a blatherskipe.
Okay.
Blather, not bladder. That might be a different problem. Anyway, so I want to encourage you to listen to that show. That's from noon to 1 on Thursdays. So lots of wonderful things going on at WAJC and here at the Forest Lake campus, at our Chisago Lakes campus. Lots of stuff happening. And well, anyway, so before we move on to finding out a little bit more about you guys and some things that are happening with you, I wanted to share our national days. Let's see here. So today, May 22nd, is Bitcoin Pizza Day. I don't even know where to put that.
Me either.
I don't really. It's also International Sherlock Holmes Day.
Oh, we were just talking about that on the way in.
Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because of mystery shows.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
The brilliance of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, right?
Yeah, observer. He's an observer.
Yeah, always wise to be. It's also National Solitaire Day. Do you guys like playing solitaire?
Sometimes.
Jay? No?
That can get annoying.
If I'm extremely bored. It's been a while since I've played that.
Which is to say you can find other things to do to
Generally, yeah.
occupy your time.
Eating, snacking.
Speaking of eating and snacking,
There we go.
it's also National Vanilla Pudding Day.
Oh.
Oh,
Pastor
sign
Mike's
me
favorite.
up.
Yeah, white and creamy. I don't
Yeah, Pastor Mike would love that.
love that one. That's for
We
sure.
should send him some.
Here you go. Saturday, this coming Saturday, is Drinking with Chickens Day. National Drinking with Chickens. They're probably not talking about lemonade, but Renee, there's a chicken day for
I'm
you.
going to bring that up to my bride.
There you go.
She loves chickens.
She loves,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, she does.
Thank you for the hen fruit this morning, that's for sure. Also, it's Saturday's hen fruit,
And fruit.
chicken,
I
egg.
don't know that I've heard that before.
Oh,
I'm
is
going
that
to let
right?
her know that. Well, she's probably like, yeah, who
Yeah.
doesn't know that? I'm like, well, me.
Yeah, oh yeah. There you go. Tomorrow is also National Road Trip Day. So, yes.
Good weekend.
I think all of us enjoy road trips here
Yeah.
in the studio.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Road trips are great when you're with the right person.
Yes.
It can be, hell on wheels, ha ha. If you're with not a
Yes.
great group. Okay. This coming Sunday is Asparagus Day. Do you guys like asparagus?
I do.
Do you like
I love
asparagus?
asparagus.
I'll eat asparagus, but I don't know what's to love about it.
If it's cooked right, he makes really good.
If it's cooked right.
If it's
Canned
cooked-
asparagus?
Yes.
Oh, my
Yeah. Yes. You
So
heard
good.
it here
Got to
first.
be fresh.
Yeah.
Well, it's also National
grilled.
Escargot Day. Do you like escargot?
It's good. I've had it. It's
Have you?
fine.
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's
Yeah.
yeah, okay. National Tiara Day. Tomorrow's National Tiara Day. No, Sunday is Sunday. So, Perry,
Is
wear
that when
your
you're doing
tiara to church.
announcements in a tiara?
And what? Oh, should I do announcements
Yes,
for church?
you should.
With a tiara?
Yes.
That would need. I probably can't based on the day. But anyway, but also this coming Monday is Memorial Day, and we don't wish one another Happy Memorial Day because of the topic of what it is. But
Correct.
very, very grateful that we actually get the privilege of being able to celebrate a Memorial Day. For those who have gone before us in all of the branches of service, who have given their life so that we can have freedom in this country, we get to honor as a privilege, So that is, if there is a family who's lost a loved one in service of their country, I just want to encourage you to lift them up this week. Pray for them. It doesn't really matter how long the passing away was. There's still a big gap where that person was.
Indeed.
So
My mother lost, just when you mentioned that, my mom lost an uncle in France in World War II.
wow.
And to this day, and
Yeah.
she's 90. But she'll start talking about Uncle Marvin, and she'll be tearing up, and
Yep.
and it breaks her up that he's not here.
Exactly.
He's buried in France somewhere. But it affects people forever.
It really does.
It changes everything.
I had the privilege the other day of performing a funeral service, and there was the interment at Fort Snelling National Cemetery. And being in the waiting line before they take you to where that's going to actually happen, and just sitting there in the quiet of my car, looking around and reading the headstones around me, and seeing the fields full of it was so sacred. It's such a solemn and honoring place, and I'm just overwhelmed with what folks have done so that we can live the way we get to live and the choices that we get to have today. It's just incomprehensible, really.
Yeah, my parents are buried at Arlington. Both my mom and dad served.
Wow.
My dad was a Marine and my mom was in the Navy.
Wow.
And yeah, it's very different having a funeral at a national cemetery like that. They do it. It's just very different. It's a very whole other ballgame.
It is, yeah. So honoring, so honoring.
It touches us on a subconscious level because, society today does not talk about community relationship. And that emotional piece is what you're talking about, touching us individually. And, people don't really recognize that. And when you don't, it causes challenges in your own life and how to deal with that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. So,
On that happy note,
yes. On that solemn and very important note, right?
Yeah, it's so
exactly.
important.
It is so important.
Yep.
So I want to thank you both for making the time to be here. I know it is early in the morning on a Friday morning, so thank you both for making the time. And
I'm not playing pickleball.
You're not playing
This is
pickleball.
pickleball hour for
Yes.
us. Yeah.
So you're part of the crew upstairs that just trashes each other, as Pastor Mike would say, just gets up there and Perry, you're a pickleballer too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's rather a new addition in your life, right? Maybe in the last couple, 3 years?
Last months.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. You enjoy yourself, obviously.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, when I don't hurt myself.
I was going to say, how many injuries have you sustained?
Not too many.
Oh, good for you.
Bruiser here, too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I hurt my hand when we first started pretty bad.
Really?
But, yeah. Long time ago. No, long time. It's relative. Year and a half ago.
Sure.
Yeah, but I love it.
Isn't
it's
it
so much fun. It's so much fun.
Well, I 100% agree with you that it is very, very fun.
Yeah.
There is a strategic reason why I choose not to continue my pickleball career.
Have you played?
Oh, yeah. I loved playing pickleball.
Oh.
Jenny took me up there. Our station manager, Jenny Gaskill, is a pickleball aficionado.
Oh, she's so good.
She's so good. And she's a great teacher as well. And she encourages people to be safe, wear your eye protection. You don't want to detach a retina, all of the things, and stretch. And while I appreciate it wasn't her instruction on how to do it, it's I lose my ever-loving mind. Meaning, when I go, I will dive for the ball.
Yes.
When I'm in the moment, I'm so engaged in the moment, I don't actually think about what I'm doing to my 60-year-old body. And I will dive, and I've injured myself, and then that affects my family and my work life and all of the things. And I don't know what it is. It's like, put me behind the wheel of a go-kart, and I lose my mind as well.
Yeah.
So there are just a couple of strategic places where
I don't anymore. I mean, I don't.
that sense of caution is awesome.
It's like,
obviously.
don't fall.
I don't have that gene right now. So
It took time.
yeah, and experience and pain. So you don't want to go there.
Yeah,
exactly.
so,
But I'm glad for you guys that really works out and you're having a great old time. And it's wonderful relationship building. It's really exploded in the last number of years.
Well, and that's part of it. We laugh so hard and have so much fun. So that's part of it. Is who you're playing with. We play and we want to win, but winning is not the end all be all. It's more the people and just having a great time and teaching new people to play is so much fun.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, we have a great time.
Yeah.
So 8 to 9:15. Any lady wants to play.
Contact Pastor Michelle.
Yep. Grow at realchurch.org.
There you go. You heard it here first. So, the two of you are leads for a ministry here at Maranatha called Free Riders.
Yep.
And I'd love to know a little bit about that. And then also, Free Riders hosts an event once a year called Blessing of the Bikes. And that's going to be coming up soon. So tell me a little bit about Free Riders.
Well, we had our first ride last night. We rode to Northern, so it's a group here at Maranatha, and actually anybody can go. Our events are on Facebook. Free Riders is our Facebook, and anybody can go. Motorcycle riders. We've had people come in cars, all kinds of things. So we do a ride, I don't know, twice a month usually, and we have some Saturday rides this year.
About every couple weeks. Yeah. So we have, I think it's 11 rides this year, Thursday nights, mostly. But there are this year 3 Saturday rides.
Oh, fun.
Spread throughout the summer, about once a month. And we meet here at the church for the Saturday rides at 10 in the morning.
Okay.
And we'll go somewhere, usually a couple of hours worth of riding.
Sure.
Where we go and have lunch, and then after lunch, we'll kind of take a longer route and get back to the Forest Lake area, usually about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Probably 4 is more reasonable.
Sure.
So it's a daytime ride. If you choose to come, you got to have full tank of gas.
Well, and so my question would be: so if I were a newer rider, would I feel comfortable coming? Is the group open for someone with maybe little to no experience?
Yes.
Good question. Yes. We ride the speed limit, mostly.
I see that grin.
No, we're not. I don't pick routes where we're out like on I-94. We're not out on the freeway.
Okay.
And, we have had, a broad range of people with experience. Whatever you ride, though, needs to be able to go 60 miles an hour comfortably.
Sure.
So, like a scooter would not cut it.
Not cut it, yeah.
So we have had people, in slingshots, three-wheelers, trikes, motorcycles.
Yeah.
So it's, when we say motorcycles, we really mean riders.
Sure.
Not bicycle.
Not bicycle for those of us who cycle, yeah.
And we do have sometimes people come in cars. They just go along with us.
For fellowship, Get to have fun.
So we put them at the back, the cars.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I would imagine that would be a great way to actually learn some of the etiquette of that particular, how to be able to ride in a group well, and the things you learn, and how close. And I have heard Pastor Mike more than one or two times talk about the etiquette of riding with people, and I've encouraged him over and over again to have like a Pastor Mike riding school. This is what you do, because his opinions are pretty strong about it. So
well, and one thing we do is at the beginning of the ride, besides just talking about where we're going and how we're getting there, we'll open in prayer, and then I'll give some basic direction about how we ride together as a group, as well as explain a few basic hand signals.
Sure.
It's like, I need to stop. So it doesn't matter if it's potty or water or you have a problem. How do you let the group know? Because you can't dial.
Communication is important. That's for sure. Well, so we have Free Riders Ministry, and it's been around for a really long time. I don't even know any idea of when it began. I realize I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, I think, Blessing of the Bikes has been going 27 years, so I'd say at least that long.
At least that long.
Yeah.
Wow. So transitioning into Blessing of the Bikes, what's Blessing of the Bikes? What in the world is that?
Good question. It's a community event. First of all, the church sponsors. We do that here at the church, and we invite riders. So that's encompasses quite a bit of
and that you
variety.
can bring your bicycle or a motorbike or we've had scooter, all kinds of things. One of our guys brought in his e-bike. Dan Dolliger did that. So any kind of two-wheel, or not even two-wheel, it can be a trike. If it doesn't fit through the doors, we have a way to handle that.
Yep. So basically people come and we bless them. They ride into church.
I was going to say, you say if they don't fit,
through the doors.
Ride through the church?
Through church, yes. And so they ride through church. They stop inside. We have 4 different stations where we have prayer teams that will bless their bike and pray for them.
Well, and actually, our wonderful producer today, Jay, is one of our teams that does that. What do you have?
How is that for you?
Yeah.
It's been a great blessing for us. We really enjoy it. I think people obviously come in, and whether they're Christian or not, or go to church or not, this is it's exposure. So they come to this event and they just go, oh yeah, people tell them it's great. You drive through the church, you get this sticker, you get blessed. But they don't necessarily know what. Once they get here, they go, it's association, it's iron sharpening iron kind of thing. It's when you're around those people, but it's awesome. And some people come in and they get blessed quickly. Some people go, hey, just found out my mom had cancer. Can you pray for her? And tears as they're on their bikes, and we're praying for them. It's awesome.
You've been doing it, a long time now.
5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's great.
And they do it. It's amazing. We have had opportunity. So there's 4 prayer teams, and we one year had a team that would take their place if they needed to take a break, and not one of them took a break.
Oh, wow.
So the other team was like, okay, what do I do? I'm just sitting here. But it's all of it, the people who work in the parking lot, we have food, we have merchandise, we have all kinds of things. It's people come just to watch. Watching the people watch is fun.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It really is an amazing event. we take pictures of every bike that comes through, so you get to see that on Facebook. Those get loaded usually in the next day or two. So we've made it, really, it has grown.
So when we say a community event, kind of talking about that, people are a little surprised by arriving and going, oh my gosh, this parking lot is full. And, when we say full, what does that mean? It means there's virtually 1,000 motorcycles parked kickstand to kickstand next to each other, and you see the community of riders come in, and it's interesting because it's like, we were talking earlier about relationship, your mom and people we know. It's like, oh, I haven't seen you in so long. Some people don't come to the event year to year, and then all of a sudden they're in connection with people, and it's over the years they're communicating, they're, it is a community into itself, the bikers, if you will. So it's interesting to see them interact with each other and then interact with us, and build, reconnect with friendships, build new ones.
Right.
It's a gregarious group. And so when you see that, we have, when we talk about vendors and merchandise, it's relevant to that rider community.
Sure. Yeah, dialed into that.
Yeah. So it's an interesting group. Love that we have sponsors that do this with us year after year. When we talk about that group, Dennis Kirk, nationally known. So it's, people are surprised. Oh my gosh, this is huge. And they come in here. They get here before noon. Get here before noon, please.
Well, we're going to have some very specific instructions right after the break. Join us again.
You're listening to Something to Think About with me, Pastor Mike, a production of WAJC, Your Life Radio on 88.1 and 91.7 FM. We'd love to hear from you. If you have questions or comments about today's show, email us at wajc@yourliferadio.com. If you're ever in the Forest Lake area, I'd love to personally invite you to join us for a Sunday morning service at 9:30 a.m. or Wednesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. There's something for everyone.
Something to Think About with Pastor Mike is a production of WAJC Your Life Radio, which is owned and operated by Maranatha Assembly of God in Forest Lake, Minnesota. You can find more information on the web at realchurch.org. Now, back to Something to Think About. Well, hey, welcome back. It's great to have you again. If you're just joining us now, I want to introduce Perry and Michelle Ingram. They are our leaders for the Free Riders Ministry and the major event we have, the Outreach of Blessing of the Bikes, and that's coming up on June 7th. Perry, you'd mentioned something about the timing of the day. Can you share a little bit more about that? Because I know people out there may want to participate, but how do I come? Where do I come? When do I come? What's the deal?
Yep. So Google us up, find us, Maranatha Forest Lake Campus, and come. Get here before noon so that you can park in the front and not end up in overflow parking.
Sure.
So when we talk about the day, people start arriving early.
Yep.
So, 8:30 sometimes, the parking lot starts to fill. We have breakfast in the morning. You can get, it's going to be breakfast burritos this year.
We have the best breakfast
burritos. They're really
burritos,
good. And that starts at 8:30. At 10:30, we have church service that starts if you're interested in that, and you're all obviously invited. We'll start serving lunch shortly after that. The vendors are available and open at 9 in the morning, and the event kicks off at 12:30.
Okay.
So there's an opening prayer, and then we have 3 different groups of honorees. So we just had talked earlier in the show about Memorial Day.
Exactly, yeah.
So one of the things the event has done year after year is recognize those who serve the community. So we have the Blue Knights, which is a group, a motorcycle group from our emergency responders and fire. We have the Red Knights, which are, red knights are emergency responders.
Yes, they would be very upset with you right now. Blue knights being our law enforcement. Yes, there you go.
Yep. And then finally, we have a group that represent veterans. So they come through, we pray. It's what are we doing? We're recognizing service to the community. They're such a valuable and important part. And then those who have come to be blessed get right in line right behind them. It goes fast. So the event starts at 12:30. Usually we're done by 3 in the afternoon.
Wow.
So it's not that long. And, you get to see virtually every kind of ride out there. So people really, have a great time seeing what's going on.
Sure.
And, so if you enjoyed loud or gas exhaust, you are going to be in for a treat.
Yeah. There's so much to see, and the attitude in the parking lot with everybody around is so uplifting, and people are happy to be there, and it's just very fun. In years past, I had the privilege of being able to pass out the stickers. It is a very cool tradition that we have of getting the sticker each year, and I've watched them put it on their wherever, on their bike and stuff like that. But the collections that they keep of that, and just even the buzz that you guys have after the blessing of the bikes of, I missed my sticker. Can I get one of those? So it's really fun.
Are important.
Yeah, we have a few left over from last year. So typically, if someone's coming through and they didn't get it, and they want to go and get last year's, they would go to our merchandise where the T-shirts are, and they'd be able to request one.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, and speaking of which, you guys have been leading. How long have you been involved in Free Riders and Blessing of the Bikes?
Well, we were part of Free Riders. We used to go on rides beforehand, and then Mike and Terry Hall did Blessing of the Bikes before us, and I know that there was somebody even before them. And they, one year, it's been about 10 years, they asked us to take it to be responsible for it after them, and they worked with us the first year, and then so they are also one of our prayer teams. So they have been praying ever since then. It's just such a privilege to be able to do this. People really, really enjoy it.
We have such a great team. I mean, when you talk about a community, you have so many different people. Jay talked about being on part of the prayer team.
Right. Yep.
We have a strong organization that help people get into the event, help get parked. Where do I find food?
All of it.
Go through. We get to talk to you about it here on the radio, and yet behind us,
I think we have about 20 people on our team now, husbands and wives lots of times, sometimes not. And we have a new member that's been on the last couple of years, Tom, and he's like, he was helping for years, and then he's like, I'd like to be more involved.
Wow. Just wonderful.
Appreciating the event and serving regularly, and now he's part of the team.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's great. We have another team member. It's his favorite thing all year, and I didn't even realize it until this year. He's one of our chefs, and so we have chefs that are cooking for us.
Like chefs.
Chefs. Yeah. He's a trained chef. He's very, very good. But he loves the event. People just love the event. It's so much fun.
And one of the things that I love about Blessing of the Bikes, but our events in particular, is it really doesn't matter. I mean, you could not really care about motorcycles,
right,
and have an awesome time serving at this event and attending this event, because there's such a variety of things to do and serve and all that kind of thing. So whether you've got, is there still room if people want to serve?
Please, yes. Yeah, lots of room. Our parking lot, you get to talk to everybody, and it's so funny because people think, one of the things that I really want to dispel is people think the important person in the whole thing are the people who are praying. And honestly, they are important, but if we don't have people in the parking lot, they don't get inside the building to get prayed for.
That's right.
So every single volunteer is as important as the person praying. You started to say something?
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that's, we get more visibility.
Right.
And it's fun for me, but it's amazing. I don't see what goes on before, but afterwards, the beehive of activity of people and volunteers, and it's amazing how much behind the scenes there is that puts this together that just makes it work, and that's thanks to you guys for that.
Yeah, the team that helps us clean up. Having fresh legs come in at 2 in the afternoon to help us clean up. Every single solitary person is important because the building completely changes and then has to get set
Reset.
back up. Yep.
That's so cool.
That reminds me, I need to go buy new shoes.
We put in a lot of walking.
Yeah.
Yep.
One year I had steps, and I looked at my step counter. It was over 26,000.
Oh, wow. That's usually an airport day, but it's Blessing of the Bikes Day. That's really very cool. Yeah. Awesome.
There was something else Perry had mentioned about the parking lot. Get here before the parking lot fills up. And if you haven't been here before, you may not understand that is a parking lot full of exclusively motorcycles.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's not a car out there. They park somewhere else during this event. We shuttle.
Exactly.
But when you go, wow, we got a big parking lot, both front and back, and they're both stacked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to...
Yeah, this year we're going to have a couple of vehicles, golf cart type vehicles to be moving people back and forth.
Nice.
And the people that are donating those to be used. So important. That's what I mean.
Yes.
Every single solitary person that is helping in any way, shape, or form is, yes, we are the faces of it, but it would be no event if we didn't have the team that we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole idea, Pastor Mike has shared the testimony that way back when the dinosaurs roamed, before we even had this particular building, driving through Forest Lake and watching a group of young people come together at a local parking lot and enjoy each other's cars and then getting run off by the police. Stopping and talking with them and going, hey, what are you guys doing? Well, we really enjoy our vehicles, but we really don't have any place to do that. And so that was starting up of the car show, but that just kind of spilled into their folks that want to get together over these type topics, and making room for something like that really breaks a Christian stereotype of why would you expend so much time, so much energy, time, talent, and treasure to make something like this happen. And the testimonies that you guys keep sharing year after year about the lives change. Or one of my favorites is when, how did you hear about us? Oh, I've been coming to Blessing of the Bikes for so and so and so. They prayed for my mom. Or, such cool testimony.
And we get the opportunity sometimes. They might not come to church here, but I remember one funeral. Yep, they had come for a Blessing of the Bike. And could we have our funeral there? And the honor to be able to do that. He was a racer, I believe.
Yes, I remember that funeral. That was so amazing.
It was amazing. And so it's not just this one thing.
No.
And Maranatha is huge about impacting the community. Those are the impact, that not influence, but impact, changing the community that we have. And you do it one drop at a time. And if the drop is a Blessing of the Bike or a car show, we do it.
People come from all over.
Hours.
They tie in online, and they're tapping into what are they hearing about. It's drawing them in. For Blessing of the Bikes, it's not uncommon to have people come from southern Minnesota. I mean, we've had people come, from as far away as Texas. They've heard of the event. We were going out. Michelle mentioned earlier in the show going out for her mom and dad's funeral. That's out on the East Coast. We're driving through, I don't know what it was, Pennsylvania, Ohio or something, and, a biker passes by, and he's got one of our shirts on.
You're like, wait, that's our shirt.
From Blessing of the Bikes.
So cool.
Yeah,
so very cool.
We are touching people all over, and it's just neat to see.
Well, and the ability to get the message out there that God really loves you. God really loves you and wants a relationship with you. And how we share that, and that it just keeps getting shared, is so important because, man, people, we all need it. We all need it. So, you guys have been doing Blessing of the Bikes, participating in that way for about 10 years, but you've certainly been involved in attending ministry and all that stuff here for quite much longer than that. So how did you end here? How did you end up here?
Well, it was funny because he mentioned we did a bike show. There was a bike show the year before we started doing this. Missions had done that, and we helped the missions people do the bike show. And then when Mike and Terry Hall were wanting to step away, they asked if we would be willing to do that.
Yeah, before that, we started coming to church in 2009. And, you know, at that time, our family was a lot younger.
It was.
I remember coming, the first time to visit was on Memorial Day weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because Pastor Mike was
Not here.
Okay.
And Pastor Bill spoke.
Oh, okay.
And at that time, you know, Michelle was at home. I think we had some sick kids.
Little
we have
ones.
a lot of kids. And so I was here with just a couple of my older kids. And it's like, wow, it really, you know, worship. The message just resonated with me personally. So when I went home, it's like, we should try this out. You need to come and see.
Nice.
Yep.
And, you know, Pastor Bill talked, I think, a couple of weeks in a row. I don't remember what was happening. But it's like, and then Pastor Mike talked, and it's like,
That's
I don't remember Bill ever mentioning that he was not the senior pastor.
Oh, sure, okay.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
But then when Pastor Mike showed it,
Okay.
And I remember it because it really fundamentally touched me. Is he was talking about the Christian church in general, and he said something that just really impacted me. It's like, you know, we are missing an important part of what the message is, and it's good news.
That's
because
right.
the church, you know, comes across, you know, not very gracious, not very loving at times.
What? Well, and so for some context, you guys have been pretty mobile. I mean, with your work assignments and all of that, you've moved around pretty frequently. So you transfer into the area with your new position, and you start checking this out. So all of that to say, though, you guys have known the Lord for a long time and have had experience in different Christian communities around the nation.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I lived in the West Coast. Michelle and I got married in California. And I accepted the Lord later in life. I'm not what you would call your statistical or stereotypical Christian. You know, I didn't grow up in a Christian home. Right. So I'm, you know, accepted the Lord, you know, in my late 20s as an adult. Which is a statistical anomaly. And then, anyway, we, you know, started attending church out in California, and then we, that's where I accepted the Lord. Moved to Ohio, attended church there, you know, searching around, you know, as, you know, young family, young believers, and then, you know, moved to Minnesota down south.
Mankato,
you know, and just continued to grow before, you know, work brought me up to the cities and Forest Lake.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so we moved here in 2007, and we're at some different churches before we came to this one. And we have 7 kids, and our kids were little. Our youngest was probably a year old when we first moved here. And so I would not go, Perry would go. So it's interesting. My girls, who were older when we moved here, they remember Pastor Bill's sermon. It was, who are you letting paint on your canvas?
I remember that service. I know. He's so great at object lessons. And the canvas he had up there and the paint that he was throwing on it. Wow. I was there and same. Yeah,
and
good
you
for
remember
them.
it. And so how that impacted him. And it's great. So we've been here, you know, how many years did you say? 17. And it's so fun now, you know, watching my kids doing their thing. And so all of our kids but one live in the area, which is very fun. And one of them came on the motorcycle ride with us last night. She rides, and she was with us at the Northern, and that was really fun. Got to sit between mom and dad.
Oh,
yeah, it was. So
that's fun.
Having community and having people see them having community.
You know, you talked about that. You know, and there's continuity. Consistency here that we see. You know, I mentioned coming and visiting the first time and seeing Pastor Bill. He leads our Sago Lakes campus. You talked about him talking on the radio show with Denise. Pastor Mike and his experience, you know, more than 40 years. You know, message doesn't change.
That's right.
Well, and the thing that I feel like one of the things that we do so well at Maranatha is the mess.
I was going to say, so you guys started attending here, and then it's all rainbows and unicorn and glitter, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
you finally arrived, and, now you're on Easy Street, right?
Yeah, that's it. So I wanted to say not everything has been easy. We've had some pretty major conflict in our family, and it happened. We lived it out in front of everybody in our church, and there was conflict with people in the church, and there's one... there's one story that's just always sticks with me. I talk about it all the time. Not all the time, but there was a conflict, and it involved another couple that were in the church. And I would walk places, and I would hear this wife speaking about me in front of other people. And it happened once, and I went and actually, I used to meet with Pastor Robin, and lost my crap at Pastor Robin. And then another time, I was walking towards Bible study, and I heard her talking to people in the room about it. And I was like, okay, I'm done. And my personality, not that I love conflict, but I really want resolution. I love resolution. And so I went to Pastor Orlean, who did not know me really all that well at the time. And I went to her and I said, okay, this is what's happening. And I remember she was pushing a little cart towards Bible study. It was her Bible. And she's looking at me. Her eyes are really big. And I said, this is what's happening. It needs to stop. You can stop it, or I can stop it. I don't care which, but it's going to stop. And she's looking at me and she goes, can I talk to Mick about it? Which is what she calls her husband, Pastor Mike. And I said, yes. And what I love is I actually never heard anything more. Nobody came back to me and said, this is what we did, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. But it stopped, which is what I wanted. And so they took care of it. They walked through, the people here at the church walked through all of that with us. No condemnation, correction, your behavior is not right there. All those kinds of wonderful things. But investment in the family and have continued through that. And humility and on the part of staff, all those kinds of things, which has enabled some of my kids to come back and come here because it was hard for them in the middle of all of that.
Oh, of course.
So, and Pastor Orleans her moniker was messy desk, messy life, or messy life, messy desk.
The mistress of my messy life.
Yeah, and we do mess really, really well here. If so, just people think, oh, I have to clean up my life and then come to Jesus. No, you just come to Jesus and we get to walk through the mess with you. Yeah.
Which is why healthy church community is so important. And and I know you guys have traveled around, and I've spoken to family members and things, and sometimes it's difficult to find a church that you can settle into and become a part of and receive training and discipleship and correction and encouragement and all of the things. But it's worth continuing to try. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because our oldest son, Luke, he just loves Pastor Robin. He'll come in and just chat with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yes, that's what you want, is people who will invest in your kids, not necessarily. I mean, your daughter, Alyssa, oh my gosh, I just love her to death. And having all these extra people in your life that you get to invest in and her care of some of my kids. Yeah, so you guys can't see me looking. I'm looking at
Jay. Yeah,
but thank you for that. She's been quite a blessing and a help in my spiritual life.
Yeah.
As I've had my walk, and sometimes I look at her and I go, "How do you get so wise?"
Exactly.
Yes.
Usually the hard way.
Yeah. Usually the hard way.
Usually the hard way.
She's just amazing. She's pregnant with her fourth.
Yeah, coming up.
It's exciting.
I think now they've got a date. She's being induced on the 4th.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
We're going to...
That'll be her Independence Day.
Yeah, no, not a C-section, but we're like, I think you're done. We're going to induce you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Back to your story.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Lord bless
it's
her.
Great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's it right there.
Yep.
We are all in community together and caring for her. She's just,
She's an amazing person.
Yeah.
Not perfect.
Right.
No, none of us.
Yeah.
And that's why I said earlier, that's not okay behavior. Excuse me? You're not allowed to yell at them in the middle of the sanctuary. Really? I can't.
I tell you. So, and there's this phrase that's just perked through my system for a little bit of time here about, it's just hard to be human.
Yeah.
Really, the older I get, the more I realize we were not created for this environment. We were created by the hand of God for a sin-free environment. We really were. And so now that sin has entered in and we just happen to be on this side of that door, there will come a time by the grace of God when we get to live in an environment that is not tainted and contorted by sin. But in the meantime, we get the privilege, if we're willing to live with the Lord, empowered by the Holy Spirit, to just navigate the joys and the beauties and the messes and the horrors that is this side.
Right.
And man, I tell you, I've heard in the female community, I don't know what you guys hear, it would be interesting to know. It's not unusual to hear, I don't want to have anything to do with other women. I have found this,
Mean girl.
And right, and I think that's just really rather universal. People get hurt and feel rejected, and whatever the mess of life happens. But I tell you, just what it is you're talking about, the community that is available through the healthy church. I believe the church is Jesus's gift. Jesus was the gift to humanity from the Father. Church is the gift from Jesus to all of us. And we get the privilege of living in it. And it doesn't always feel like a privilege.
It's a practice.
It is a practice.
You learn not to give up. The Bible says, you have three things: hope, faith, and love. What does that look like? How do you walk that out? And it's situational. I tell the guys, in Bible study, I repeat myself. I'm a situational Christian.
What does that mean?
And that means, hey, we live life. Life happens. We do different things. We're husbands. We're business owners. We're fathers, we're employees. Every day has different situations that crop up, and in that I get to choose how I respond.
That's right.
And I'm not perfect.
What?
But that's
He's not.
That's the my wife.
I'm just being agreeable. Isn't that what we're supposed
You're
to be?
so agreeable.
Speaks truth into my life.
Amen.
And it's like I get to realize it's like, oh yeah, that wasn't kind of a loving response I was going to have. And it's like I get to practice through thinking that and going, well, thank you, Lord, that she got my attention.
Right.
And
Amen.
I get to change my response and see how that works out.
Right.
And it's like, oh, that works out really good.
And
a lot of times.
We really want, the silver bullet. It's like, okay, Holy Spirit, come in and modify my behavior and make me act like you want me to act. And it's a partnership.
Yeah.
James has the audacity, James. In chapter 1, verse 2 through 4, he says, my brothers and sisters, count it all joy when you fall into various trials. You have got to be kidding me, James. And he goes on to say, knowing that the testing of your faith, and really that word is proving. The
Maturing.
proving, of your faith. It produces patience. But let patience have its perfect or complete work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. And so the maturity that chooses to count it all joy and to do the work in the Holy Spirit. In Matthew, he says, come, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. And in that framework, yoke is the teachings of the rabbi. Take my teachings on you, and you will find rest for your souls. And that practice, just like you say, Perry, the practice of doing that day in and day out with the Holy Spirit is where we develop with one another. We don't do it in isolation.
Yep.
One of the themes Pastor Mike has had over the years that living in different places, growing up, not growing up in a church and hearing church in different places, a thing that is different here that impressed me was we talk about the concept of being real. I don't have to change the clothes that I wear. I don't have to behave differently. I don't have to use different language. I am real, and we're going to walk that out.
Amen.
You talked about being messy. It's like we're not going to put this makeup on and do an act.
Yeah.
Right.
Amen. Amen.
About life and what is happening.
Amen.
Yeah.
And on that note, I want to thank you all for joining us today on Something to Think About, and we do. Please go to the website, realchurch.org, and you will find all the details about Blessing of the Bikes. We really would love to have you come and join us there, and if you can make it, please come to service. Have an awesome week. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Please join us right here each Friday morning at 8 a.m. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, email wajc@yourliferadio.com. You can hear more from Pastor Mike at Maranatha's website, realchurch.org, on the Messages and Media tab. The opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of the owner.